The rain hammered the fire escape like 1,000 tiny fists, and I couldn't breathe. His hand clamped over my mouth, eyes wild in the dim glow of our apartment's emergency light. "Alex, shut up or they'll hear us," Raymond hissed. His body pressed so tight against mine I felt the thunder of his pulse matching the storm outside. In that frozen second, as sirens wailed closer from the Brooklyn streets below, I realized the secret I'd buried for months was clawing its way out, and it was going to drag us both under. It started innocently enough. Or at least that's what I told myself 6 months ago when I signed the lease on that cramped 2-bedroom in Williamsburg. New York had chewed me up and spat me out a dozen times already. Freelance graphic designer by day, invisible queer kid nursing a cocktail of hope and heartbreak by night. At 24, I'd learned to spot the straight guys from a mile away, the easy swagger, the casual arm slings around bros at dive bars, the way they talked about chicks like it was the only language that mattered. Raymond was textbook ex-college football jock from Ohio, 26, with a jawline that could cut glass and shoulders broad enough to block out the sun. He worked construction, came home smelling like sawdust and sweat, and crashed on the couch with a beer, oblivious to the way my gaze lingered on the freckles dusting his collarbone. We clicked, though. That's the killer part. Rent was split 50-50, chores rotated like a well-oiled machine, and late-night takeout sessions turned into marathons of bad action flicks and even worse philosophy rants. He'd tease me about my artsy-fartsy sketches pinned to the fridge, and I'd rib him about his man bun that he swore made him look like a Viking. "You're the only roommate who doesn't make me want to punch a wall," he'd say, clinking his bottle against my soda. I laughed it off, but inside, it was a slow burn, the kind that starts as a spark in your gut and ends up torching your whole damn world. Then there was Gregory. God, where do I even start with him? We met at a gallery opening in Chelsea 6 months before Raymond. Tall, lanky artist type with wire-rimmed glasses and a laugh that echoed like wind chimes. He was out and proud, the kind of guy who wore his queerness like a badge, dragging me to pride parades and rooftop parties where everyone knew your pronouns before your name. Our first date was magic. Stumbling out of a speakeasy in the East Village, his fingers laced through mine as we dodged cabs and shared a stolen kiss under the Williamsburg Bridge. "You're my safe harbor, Alex," he'd whispered, and I believed him. For 2 years, he was, until the late nights at the studio stretched into dawns, and his texts went from poetry to excuses. The breakup hit like a freight train. I came home early from a client pitch, found him tangled in our sheets with some twink from Bushwick. All apologies, and it just happened. I didn't scream or throw things. I just nodded, packed a bag, and crashed on friends' couches until Raymond's Craigslist ad popped up. "Straight dude seeks chill roommate." No drama, no pets, no bullshit. Ironic, right? The straight guy became my anchor when the gay one set me adrift. That first week with Raymond, I kept my walls up high. No lingering looks, no accidental brushes in the kitchen. But he had this way of dismantling them without trying. Cooking chili that burned your tongue but warmed your soul. Blasting Springsteen on vinyl while fixing the leaky faucet. Sharing stories about his deadbeat dad back in Cleveland like they were just weather reports. One night, after a brutal day where a client ghosted me and Gregory texted a half-assed, "Happy birthday" 3 days late, I cracked. We were on the fire escape, city lights twinkling like distant regrets, and I let slip. "Sometimes I wonder if love's just a scam we tell ourselves to keep from being alone." He turned, those hazel eyes locking on mine, and for a heartbeat, I swore he saw right through me. "Nah, man. It's real. Just gotta find the right storm to weather it with. His hand landed on my shoulder, heavy and sure, and I swallowed the urge to lean in. Instead, I joked about the Mets' losing streak, and we laughed until the neighbors banged on the wall. Life settled into a rhythm after that. Work, gym runs together, him spotting my pathetic bench presses. Friday bar hops where he'd play wingman for my grinder dates. Go get 'em, Tiger, he'd say, shoving me toward some guy with a decent smile, then waiting outside like a loyal dog when it inevitably fizzled. He never pried, but I caught him glancing sometimes, a flicker of something unreadable in his expression. Curiosity, pity, or, God forbid, reciprocation. I shoved the thought down deep, buried it under layers of denial. He was straight. End of story. But stories have a way of rewriting themselves. It was mid-October, leaves turning the parks into fire hazards, when Gregory resurfaced. A DM out of nowhere. Miss you. Coffee? For old times. Against every screaming instinct, I said yes. We met at a hole-in-the-wall in Soho, him looking sharper than ever, me nursing a black coffee like it was arsenic. He spun tales of his growth, how the breakup was a necessary rupture, and before I knew it, we were back at his loft, clothes shedding like old skin. It was frantic, familiar, his hands mapping routes they'd long forgotten, my body betraying my brain with every gasp. See, we're better now, he murmured, and I wanted to believe it. For a week, it was bliss, secret texts, stolen afternoons, the thrill of reclaiming what I'd lost. Until the guilt crept in. Raymond noticed first. The late nights I claimed were client deadlines. The way I jump when my phone buzzed. You good, bro? He'd ask over breakfast, flipping pancakes with that easy grin. I'd nod, force a laugh, but inside I was unraveling. Gregory was fire, intense, consuming, but Raymond was home, steady and warm. And the more I compared, the more I realized I was falling for the one I couldn't have. The storm broke on a Tuesday. I snuck out after work, telling Raymond I had a networking thing. Gregory's place again, the sex turning tender, his head on my chest as he traced lazy circles on my skin. Move back in, he said softly. We can make it work this time. Panic clawed up my throat. I mumbled something about needing space, bolted before dawn, cab racing through the pre-dawn hush. By the time I slipped my key into our door, the sky was bruising purple, and Raymond was up, shirtless in sweatpants, coffee mug in hand, staring at me like I'd grown a second head. Where the hell you been? His voice was low, edged with something sharper than worry. I froze, rain from my jacket pooling on the floor. Out. Told you. Bullshit. He set the mug down, hard enough to slosh. You've been ghosting like this for weeks. And now you come in looking like a drowned rat at 5 a.m.? Who's he? The room tilted. He? What? The texts. Saw him light up your screen last night. Miss you. Babe. Real classy. His jaw ticked, arms crossing over that chest I'd memorized in stolen glances. Betrayal burned in his eyes. Not jealousy, but hurt. Like I'd violated some unspoken pact. It's Gregory. My ex. The words tumbled out, raw and ugly. We're trying again. Raymond's laugh was bitter, echoing off the brick walls. Your ex? The one who fucked you over? Jesus. Alex. After all the shit you told me about him. He raked a hand through his hair, pacing like a caged animal. I thought we were. He stopped, words dying on his lips. Were what? My voice cracked, heart slamming against my ribs. Friends. Real ones. He stopped inches away, close enough I could smell the sleep on his skin. But you're out there chasing ghosts, and I'm here wondering why the hell I care so much. Time fractured. I don't know who moved first. Maybe me, desperation propelling me forward. Or him, that magnetic pull we'd both ignored too long. Our lips crashed, clumsy and urgent, his stubble scraping my chin as hands fisted in shirts. It was everything I dreamed, his mouth hot and hesitant, tasting of coffee and unspoken truths. He groaned, low and broken, backing me against the counter, bodies aligning like puzzle pieces I'd never dared complete. But reality's a bitch. His phone buzzed, his sister, probably, the one he doted on from afar. He pulled back, breathing ragged, eyes wide with the dawn of regret. Fuck. Alex. Shit. I'm not. He trailed off, wiping his mouth like he'd sinned. Straight. The word hung between us, invisible barbed wire. I know, I whispered, sliding down to the floor, knees buckling. Me neither. For you. He knelt too, not touching, just there, his presence a lifeline in the wreckage. This can't. We can't. But we already had. And as the city woke around us, horns blaring and pigeons cooing on the sill, I knew the real storm was just beginning. The days after that kiss blurred into a haze of avoidance and ache. Raymond threw himself into work, dawn to dusk shifts on a high-rise downtown, coming home with dirt-caked boots and eyes that wouldn't meet mine. I'd hole up in my room, sketching feverishly, jagged lines of cityscapes twisted with impossible embraces, erasers grinding away the evidence like it could erase the memory. Gregory blew up my phone. Where are you? We need to talk. But I ghosted him, too raw to face the mirror of what we'd been. What was I doing? Playing house with a straight guy who'd panic fuck regret into oblivion, while my ex waited like a bad habit I couldn't kick. By Friday, the tension was a live wire. He got home early, the apartment thick with the scent of Thai takeout he'd grabbed, our ritual, unspoken truce. We ate on the couch, forks scraping styrofoam, the TV droning some cop show neither of us watched. How's the site? I asked, voice neutral as a weather report. Behind schedule. Boss is riding my ass. He paused, chopsticks hovering. You? That client pay up? Yeah. Wired this morning. It was freelance scraps, barely covering the electric. But small talk was our armor. Silence stretched, broken only by the laugh track's hollow chuckle. Finally, he set his container down, elbows on knees, staring at the floor. About the other night, my stomach nodded. Don't. Alex. We gotta. I kissed you. You're a guy. He swallowed, Adam's apple bobbing. I've never. It's messing with my head. Relief warred with devastation. At least he said it better than the nothing I'd feared. Mine too. But it happened. We can chalk it up to drunk on adrenaline or whatever. Wasn't adrenaline. His gaze flicked up. Stormy. It was you. The way you've been there, listening to my crap, making this shithole feel like home. Heat bloomed in my chest. Treacherous hope. Raymond. No. Hear me out. He stood, pacing to the window, backlit by the neon buzz of the bodega sign. Back in college, I had this teammate, Josh. Good dude. All-American. One party, too many shots, and we fooled around. Woke up freaked. Swore it'd never happen again. Buried it deep. Told myself it was experimentation. Nothing more. But you? It's not buried. It's right here. He thumped his chest. Voice rough. And it scares the shit out of me. The room spun. Not straight, not entirely. Bi? Fluid? Labels felt trivial in the face of his raw honesty. I rose, closing the distance, but stopped short. What do we do? He turned, cupping my face with calloused hands, thumbs brushing my cheeks. I don't know. But I know I don't want to lose this. Us. Our second kiss was slower, exploratory, lips parting tentative, tongues testing boundaries like explorers on uncharted maps. His hands roamed my back, pulling me flush, and I melted into him, fingers threading his hair, tugging that ridiculous man bun free. We tumbled to the couch, shirts discarded in a frenzy, skin on skin electric. He was all muscle and heat, scars from old tackles mapping his ribs, and I traced them like scripture, worshipping the body I'd coveted in silence. God, Alex, he breathed against my neck, nipping gently, sending shivers cascading. You're killing me. Good way to go, I murmured, arching as his mouth found my collarbone, then lower, exploring with a reverence that bordered on prayer. It wasn't just sex. It was revelation. Years of longing uncoiling in gasps and grips, his hesitance giving way to hunger. When he entered me, slow and careful, eyes locked on mine, it was communion. No words, just the rhythm of us, building to a crescendo that left us shattered and whole. After, tangled in sheets on the floor, couch too small for the earthquake we'd unleashed, he traced my tattoos, a sleeve of abstract waves I'd inked after Gregory. Beautiful, he whispered. All of you, I believed him. For the first time in forever, I did. But bliss is fragile in Brooklyn. Gregory wouldn't fade. A week in, our secret bubble intact, stolen touches over coffee, midnight confessions about dreams deferred, he showed up unannounced. I'd just gotten home from a pitch meeting, Raymond still at the site, when the buzzer screamed. Alex? It's Greg. Open up. Heart in my throat. I let him in. He looked wrecked, dark circles under those poet eyes, clutching a bottle of our old favorite scotch. We need to fix this, he said, stepping inside like he owned the place. I know I screwed up, but you're slipping away. I feel it. I backed toward the kitchen, arms crossed. It's over, Greg. For real this time. His laugh was sharp, disbelieving. Because of that straight-laced roommate? Come on. I saw the lease. He's a rebound. Alex. A safe, boring rebound. Rage flared. You don't know shit about him. Enlighten me. Then, he advanced, setting the bottle down, hands reaching. Or better yet, let's remind ourselves why we work. He kissed me. Forceful, demanding, a ghost of passion past. For a split second, muscle memory responded, but then revulsion hit. I shoved him back, hard. Get out. His eyes narrowed, hurt twisting to spite. Fine. But when he bails, and he will, 'cause straights always do, don't come crying. The door slammed, echo lingering like a curse. I sank to the floor, head in hands, when keys rattled in the lock. Raymond, home early. He took one look at me, disheveled, lips bruised from the assault, and his face darkened. What happened? I spilled it all, Gregory's ambush, the kiss I hadn't wanted. Raymond's fists clenched, but he pulled me up, enveloping me in that unbreakable hold. He's an asshole. You deserve better. We didn't make love that night, we just held on. His heartbeat my lullaby. But doubt seeded, Greg's words worming in when he bails. Was this real, or just another chapter in my endless chase for belonging? The conflict simmered, bubbling over at a housewarming party for one of Raymond's crew buddies in Queens. We went as bros, but the undercurrent hummed, his hand brushing mine under the beer pong table, stolen glances across the crowded backyard. I stuck to soda, hyper-aware of eyes, but Raymond, he drank like it was oxygen, shots lining up as laughter boomed. By midnight, he was buzzed, arms slung around some coworker named Mike, recounting glory days on the field. Alex, here's the artist, he slurred, pulling me close. Draws shit that makes you feel everything, Mike chuckled, clapping my back. Cool, man. You two seem tight, too tight. Across the fire pit, I caught a woman, Raymond's ex, Tara, from the stories, staring daggers. She dumped him a year back, called him stagnant, and now, whispers rippled. Wait, there? Raymond, oblivious or drunk, leaned in, lips grazing my ear. Love you in that shirt, my blood sang, but the room spun with peril. Tara cornered me by the cooler. He's confused, you know, using you to rebel. He'll wake up and it'll crush you both. Her words echoed Greg's, a siren song of cynicism. I brushed her off, but the seed took root. The night ended ugly. Raymond, 3 sheets to the wind, argued with Mike over some dumb bet, fists flying before friends pulled them apart. In the cab home, silent fury radiated off him. Fucking idiot, he muttered. You okay? I ventured. Yeah. Just hate feeling out of control. At home, he stripped to boxers, collapsing on the bed. I curled beside him, but he turned away. Night, the rejection stung, a crack in our foundation. Morning brought apologies over greasy diner eggs, but the distance lingered, a ghost in our sheets. Enter the real betrayal. Gregory, ever the opportunist, leaked it. Somehow, he got wind of us, maybe from a mutual friend at the party, and by Monday, my inbox exploded. Screenshots from a group chat. Saw your roommate making out with that queer designer. Total train wreck. Raymond's phone blew up too. Coworkers razzying. His sister texting concern. He showed me one. Face ashen. Bro, you good? Heard some wild shit. Who? He demanded, voice lethal. I confessed the party slip, the whispers. But it was Greg, I knew it. Quick block, but damage done. Raymond stormed out, slamming the door. Hours later, he returned reeking of bar smoke, eyes red-rimmed. Talked to Tara. She knows people. Said I'm throwing my life away. And you believe her? My voice broke. No. Yes. Fuck. Alex, this town's a pressure cooker. My job, my family, they expect the wife, the kids, the picket fence. Not This, the word sliced. Us, he deflated, sinking beside me. I love you. God help me. I do. But I'm terrified. We clung that night, tears salting our skin, the city indifferent outside. Love, turned out, wasn't the storm, it was the eye, calm before the chaos. November swept in like a cold front, frosting the windows and chilling our bones. Thanksgiving loomed, a holiday I'd always dodged with takeout and Netflix, but Raymond's invite from his sister in Ohio changed the math. Come with, he said one gray afternoon, snow flurries dusting his lashes as we walked home from the laundromat. Meet the fam. Show 'em we're solid. My gut twisted. Solid? We were a Jenga tower, one wrong pull from collapse. Gregory's poison had spread. Subtle digs at work for me, sidelong glances on Raymond's sights. But his plea, raw and hopeful, cracked me. Okay. But if your dad pulls the shotgun routine, you're taking the bullet. He laughed. That deep rumble I lived for, slinging an arm around me. Deal. The train ride to Cleveland was a bubble, 6 hours of stolen dozes on each other's shoulders, playlists shared through earbuds, his fingers drumming mine on the armrest. Remember that time in the alley? He murmured as fields blurred by. The sirens, the rain, our first almost end. How could I forget? I squeezed his hand. Best near-death experience ever. We arrived at dusk. His sister's split level glowing like a Norman Rockwell lie, turkey aromas wafting, kids shrieking in the yard. Emily hugged him fierce, then eyed me curious. Alex, right? Ray's told us. Stories. All good. I hoped. Dinner was a minefield, his dad, grizzled ex-factory worker, grunting over politics, mom fluttering with pie slices, Emily's husband cracking dad jokes. Raymond sat close, knee pressed to mine under the table, a secret anchor. But the questions came, innocent barbs. So, Alex, what line you in? Dad asked. Fork spearing cranberry. Design. Freelance graphics. Artsy type. Ha! A chuckle. Not unkind, but loaded. Ray here's always been the jock. Opposites attract. I guess. Emily shot him a look, but Raymond tensed, foot stilling. Later, washing dishes, she cornered me. He's different with you, happier. But Dad, he's old school. Don't let it rattle you. It did, though. That night, in the guest room's lumpy twin beds, Raymond slipped into mine after midnight creaks faded. Missed this, he whispered, body curling around mine, lips brushing my nape. We moved quiet, desperate, hands muffling moans, rhythm hushed to whispers. Climax hit like a sigh, leaving us slick and sated. But dawn brought reckoning. His dad knocked early, coffee in hand. Son. A word. They vanished to the garage, murmurs filtering through the wall. Paste. Emily's sympathetic glance my only balm. When Raymond returned, face thunderous, I knew. He knows. Saw us last night, door ajar or some shit. What did he say? That I'm shaming the family. That it's a phase, and I need to man up before I ruin my life. His voice cracked, fists balled. Called you. A distraction. Rage boiled. Fuck him. We're leaving. No. Raymond grabbed my arm. Eyes fierce. I'm not running. Not from this. The confrontation unfolded in the living room. Post-brunch wreckage on the coffee table. Dad stood by the fireplace, arms crossed like a sentinel. Raymond, this ain't right. Bible says, save it, Dad. Raymond's tone was steel. Alex isn't a phase. He's the best thing that's happened to me. And if you can't see that, maybe I don't belong here. Silence, thick as fog. Mom wrung her hands. Emily nodded subtle support. Dad's face crumpled. Not anger, but grief. I just want you happy, son. Safe. I am. Raymond reached for me, hand engulfing mine. With him, the hug that followed was awkward, backslapping, but real, a bridge over chasms. We left that afternoon, lighter, the train south of Victory Lap. Proud of you, I said, head on his shoulder. Us, he corrected. Love, seemed, could bend steel. Back in Brooklyn, reality reasserted. Work piled, my portfolio dry. Raymond's crew grumbling about distractions. Gregory, silent since the leak, resurfaced with a vengeance. An email, laced with venom. Saw your little domestic bliss on Insta. Cute. But Ray's crew? They're talking divorce already. He's gonna bolt when the novelty wears off. Remember me when you're alone again. I deleted it, but the doubt festered. Then the call came. Raymond's foreman, voice gruff. Kid's talented, but the boys are side-eyeing. Fights breaking out. Might need to reassign. I confronted him that night. Tie again, irony bitter. They're pushing you out because of us. He shrugged. Too casual. It's noise. I'll handle it. But he didn't. Shifts cut. Whispers turning to shouts. One evening, he came home bloody. Lips split from a bar scuffle with a coworker who'd joked too far. Asshole said I was turning fag. He spat the word like poison. Ice pack to his jaw. My world fractured. This is my fault. No. He pulled me close. Blood-tinged kiss fierce. Ours to fight. We did, lawyered up for harassment. Raymond coming out to his crew in a site meeting that went viral in their group chat. Support trickled. Mike, the Pong rival, clapped his back. Others nodded wary. But the toll mounted, sleepless nights. My sketches turning dark. Gregory's taunts echoing. The high point? A weekend getaway to the Catskills. Cabin rented on a whim. Snow-blanketed pines. Fire crackling as we hiked. Laughed. Made snow angels that melted into tangled limbs. That night, under stars piercing the chill, he proposed not ring, but promise. Marry me? Someday. When the world's ready. Tears froze on my lashes. Yes, but peaks precede valleys. Returning, package waited, photos, grainy prints of us, kissing on the fire escape, hand in hand at the party. Note attached. Gregory's scrawl. Thought you'd want these. For memories. Or leverage. Leverage, my blood iced. He'd stalked us, documented our fragility. I showed Raymond, his face paling to fury. That son of a bitch. We confronted him at his loft. Pounding door. Him opening bleary-eyed. What the fuck? Greg. He smirked, leaning on the frame. Protecting Alex. You're a phase, right? He'll thank me later. Fists flew. Raymond's connecting with jaw. Greg crumpling. Sirens wailed distant. Us bolting into the night. Hearts pounding in tandem. Betrayal crystallized. Not just jealousy, but sabotage. Gregory's love twisted to control. We cut ties, blocked every avenue, but the scar lingered. Trust, once bedrock, now cracked porcelain. As winter deepened, so did we or tried. Therapy sessions squeezed between gigs. Raymond opening up about Josh. The buried hookups. Me unpacking Gregory's gaslighting. We're building something real, our counselor said, and for a while, felt true. Then the blow, Raymond's dad, post-heart scare, demanded a visit. Alone, the letter specified. Raymond went, returned hollow-eyed. He wants me to end it. Says it'll kill him. The ultimatum hung. A guillotine. What now? I choose you. But his voice wavered. The lie thin. Doubt bloomed toxic. Gregory's ghost whispered, he'll bail. And in the quiet hours, I wondered if love was enough against the world's weight. Spring teased Brooklyn with false promises. Cherry blossoms shedding petals like confetti on cracked sidewalks. But our world stayed wintry. Raymond's choice echoed hollow. He threw himself into overtime, chasing promotions to prove us viable, while I clawed at deadlines, illustrations for a queer-lit mag that paid in exposure more than cash. Nights, we'd collide exhausted, sex a frantic bandage, not the bomb it once was. I love you, he'd murmur into my hair, but the words tasted like obligation. Gregory vanished, a specter dissolved, but his poison lingered in microaggressions. A client's joking homophobia, Raymond's crew still thawing. We leaned on community, joined a queer sports league. Him dominating pickup basketball with that farm boy grace. Me cheering from the bleachers, feeling seen. One game, after a buzzer-beater win, he swept me into a victory kiss. Crowd whooping. That's my man, Mike yelled, and for a moment, the world aligned. But fractures spiderwebbed. His sister's wedding loomed. Ohio again. Full regalia. Come, he urged. But Emily's call preempted. Dad's fragile. Maybe. Separate rooms, the subtext stung. We went, me in the guest house, him in the bridal suite. Ceremony was Pinterest perfect. Vows exchanged under oaks, tears and toasts. But at the reception, Dad pulled Raymond aside, whispers urgent. I watched from afar, champagne flute sweating in my grip, as his posture deflated. Later, in the shadowed garden, he found me. He offered money for a fresh start, apartment in the city, solo. My laugh was shards. And told him no, but his eyes dodged. Guilt's shadow. It's just pressure, Alex. Constant. We fought that night, first real one. Voices hushed to not wake kin. You're ashamed? I accused, packing a mental bag. I'm fighting, he shot back, voice breaking. Every day. For us. But it's exhausting. Welcome to my world. The words landed like slaps. I stormed out, walking moonlit fields till lungs burned, grief's chill seeping deep. Dawn brought truce, his arms around me on the porch swing. Apologies whispered. Don't leave, but the seed of doubt sprouted. Thorny. Back home. Escape in art. I pitched a graphic novel to a small press, our story. Fictionalized. Straight lines. Bent hearts. Raymond posed for sketches. Vulnerable in lamplight. And it mended something, creation from chaos. Then the opportunity. His foreman dangled a transfer Philly site. Better pay. Fresh crew. Think about it, he said. Escape the noise here. Philly. 2 hours away. Commutable. Maybe. But the implication loomed. Distance as buffer. I don't want escape, I said. Voice steady. I want us. Here. He nodded. But the seed took. Applications sent. Interviews lined. Gregory's final strike came sly. A job offer forwarded to me. High-profile design firm in L.A. Karma. The email read. His signature. Temptation nod. Son. Reinvention. Away from the mess. I trashed it, but Raymond found the printout in recycling. Going somewhere? No. Hell no. His relief was palpable, but trust's erosion deepened. We spiraled, arguments over nothing, silences heavy as lead. Sex waned to mechanical, affection to habit. The breaking point. Pride Month kicked off, parades thumping bass through our walls. We marched, rainbows aloft, but midway, Raymond froze, spotting his dad on the sidelines. Sign in hand, love wins. A setup? Emily's doing. Redemption arc. We hugged him awkward, tears mixing with confetti. Proud, Dad grunted, clapping Raymond's back. Victory, bittersweet. But home, euphoria crashed. It's enough, Raymond said, packing a duffel. The transfer. Philly. Just temporary. Clear my head. My world tilted. Temporary? That's code for goodbye. No. Space. Alex. To fight without bleeding. I saw it then, his fear. Not of me, but of losing himself. Go, I whispered, throat raw. But come back. He did, weekends blurring into months. Trains our lifeline. Calls nightly, laced with I miss you, but distance stretched emotions thin. Gregory texted once, told you. Blocked forever. Summer scorched. My novel accepted, advance modest, but validation. Launch party in the village. Raymond there, beaming. My artist. We danced till dawn, bodies sinking like old times. But autumn whispered endings. Philly solidified, full-time. Apartment leased. Stay, he begged one night, tangled in our bed. Move with me. A brute? For a maybe? I can't chase anymore. The fight raged, accusations flying. My stubborn pride. His cowardice. Doors slammed. Hearts bruised. He left at dawn. Kiss goodbye, tasting of finality. I love you. Always. Alone. The apartment echoed. His flannel on the chair. Chili spices in the pantry. I curled fetal. Sobs racking. The hook of our beginning replaying. Rain. His hand. The secret out. Weeks bled, work a blur. Friends' pity parties I skipped. Gregory's silence a mercy. Then, the card. Anniversary. Scribbled 1 year. Still mine? R. Hope flickered. Treacherous. I boarded the train. Philly's skyline a challenge. He met me at the station. Ice shadowed. Dinner. Cheesesteak joint. Greasy heaven. Missed this, he said, fingers lacing mine. Me too, but undercurrent hummed, his new routine. Mentions of the guy's casual. After. His place. Sleek loft. Worlds from our Brooklyn chaos. We made love deliberate. Reclaiming. But morning brought truth. I can't do long distance, he admitted. coffee steaming. It's killing me. End it. Then. My voice steel. Choose. He chose himself. I need time. Alone. Betrayal. Fresh wound. I fled. Train rattling like sobs. City lights mocking. Back home. Catharsis. I wrote. Poured agony into pages. The novel soared. Reviews praising its raw humanity. Months later. A call. Raymond. Voice wrecked. I'm coming back. Quit the site. Therapy. The works. I was scared of everything. But not you. Skepticism warred with want. Prove it. He did showed up. Duffel in hand. Our door. No more running. We rebuilt slow. Date nights. Boundaries drawn. His dad visited. Awkward barbecue healing old rifts. Gregory. Footnote. Faded. But scars remain. Trust a fragile bloom. Love. We learned. Isn't a sprint. It's the marathon. Blisters and all. Winter circled back. But softer. Holidays strung with lights. Not shadows. Raymond and I navigated the minefield of us with maps redrawn. Weekly check-ins. No assumptions. His flannel back in the closet. My sketches now shared openly. The novel's success buoyed us. Book tour stops where he'd tag along. Holding my hand in green rooms. Whispering proud before readings. Fans approached tentative. Your story. It gave me courage. Human. We'd become flawed, but forward. Yet echoes lingered. One night, post-signing in Boston, we crashed in a boutique hotel. City snow muffling the world. Remember the fire escape? He murmured, tracing my jaw. Hard to forget. I smiled, but ache twinged that first storm. Sirens heralding chaos. He propped on elbow, eyes earnest. I almost lost you. Because I was a coward. Past tense. Tease. Light. Working on it. His kiss deepened. Hands sliding south. Reigniting embers. We explored lazy, no rush. Just rediscovery. Freckles kissed. Scars honored. Afterward. Tangled in Egyptian cotton. He confessed. Therapy's digging up crap. Josh wasn't a one-off. There were others. Buried deep. Vulnerability. Gift-wrapped. Thank you, I whispered. For sharing. In turn, I unpacked Gregory. Not the villain, but the mirror of my own fears. Abandonment's echo from a childhood dad who bailed. Mom who tried but frayed. You stayed, I said. That's everything. Spring bloomed tentative, cherry trees defiant against concrete. We adopted a rescue mutt. Luna, her wagging chaos filling silences. Walks in Prospect Park became ritual. Leashes taut, hands brushing, future sketched in hypotheticals. House upstate, he'd muse. Garden for your sketches. Sounds dangerously domestic. His grin. Good danger. Conflict resurfaced subtle. A job offer for me. Chicago agency. Fat salary. Go, he urged, but eyes shadowed. If it's right. It wasn't. I stayed. Pitching local instead, queer youth center murals. Stories painted on walls. Raymond joined, wielding brushes clumsy but earnest. Our hands paint-streaked at dawn. Summer heat wave-tested. His crew gig dried up. Mine sporadic. Bills stacked. Tension simmered. One sweltering eve. Argument erupted over takeout. You're retreating again, I accused. Heat amplifying hurt. He paced. sweat beading. I'm trying, Alex, but yeah, scared of failing us. We cooled in the shower, water cascading forgiveness, bodies pressing apology. Together, we vowed, emerging renewed. Autumn harvested growth. His sister announced pregnancy, inviting us to the reveal, ultrasound wand waving, tiny heartbeat thumping. Dad, softer now, gripped my shoulder. Family, Thanksgiving, our table, Emily's clan, mismatched chairs, turkey charred but cherished. Toasts rang to second chances, to love's quiet revolutions. But climax brewed unbidden. Gregory, reformed, a letter arrived, forwarded from old address. Alex, I've been in rehab, addiction, the works. Your book. It hit home. No excuses, just sorry. Wishing you joy. G. Raymond read it aloud, voice neutral. You okay? Forgiven? Maybe. Free? Definitely. Winter solstice party. Our place. Strung lights. Queer chorus caroling off-key. Raymond pulled me aside, mistletoe dangling. Marry me. For real. Kneeling. Ring simple, silver band etched with waves. Yes. I choked. Crowd cheering as we kissed. Luna barking frenzy. Wedding planning wove whimsy. Rooftop vows in Williamsburg. Officiant a drag queen pal. Cake rainbow layered. Vows poured raw his. You saw me. Straight lines and all. And loved the bends. Mine. You caught me in the storm. Whispered home. Honeymoon. Road trip. Route 66 echoes. Diner booths. Motel neon. Bodies mapped anew under desert stars. Years folded. House upstate bought. Garden thriving. My studio bustling. His carpentry biz steady. Kids, not biological, but fosters. Teens with stories mirroring ours. Mended in our hearth. One eve. Fire escape perch. Transplanted to our yard. Luna snoozing. He whispers. Heart still racing? Every day. Ours. A tapestry. Knots of betrayal unraveled. Threads of romance rewoven. Human in its hue. The world shifted, but we endured, not perfect, but profoundly us. In America's vast mosaic, two men slipped into arms not promised, whispered truths that echoed eternal. Love, turns out, isn't the fall, it's the flight, wings earned in tempests tamed. And in that quiet knowing, hearts raced on unfettered, unbroken.